It was a dark and stormy night, rain lashed against the windows. Inside, 4 friends huddled around a flickering candle.
"Dare you to go to the abandoned house?" Jake said, a sly grin spreading across his face.
"Yeah, right," scoffed Emily. "That place is haunted."
But Max, always up for a challenge, nodded. "I'll do it."
"Don't do it, Max," whispered Chloe, her eyes wide with fear.
The old house loomed before them, a skeletal silhouette against the stormy sky. Wind howled through the broken windows, sounding like mournful cries. Inside, cobwebs draped every corner and dust lay thick on the floor. The air hung heavy, thick with a silence that felt almost suffocating.
Max, Emily and Chloe crept through the house, their hearts pounding in their chests. They could hear their own breath echoing in the silence.
Jake, too scared to venture inside, waited at the entrance, his eyes darting nervously around.
In a dusty, forgotten room at the end of a long, creaking hallway, they found it. A mirror. It was tall and ornate, its silver frame tarnished with age. Heavy chains were wrapped around the mirror, fastened with a rusty padlock. Scrawled on the wall above the mirror, barely visible beneath layers of grime, were words, "Beware the reflection."
Chloe shivered. "This feels wrong," she whispered.
Max, unable to resist the allure of the unknown, stepped forward. He reached out and wiped away the dust from the mirror's surface. An image slowly materialized in the glass. His reflection stared back at him, but something was wrong. His reflection blinked, slowly, deliberately. Max hadn't blinked. A cold dread crept up Max's spine. He stumbled back from the mirror, his eyes wide with terror.
"Did you see that?"
He stammered, his voice trembling. Before anyone could answer, Emily gasped.
"Where did she go?"
She pointed a trembling finger at the mirror. The reflection of Emily in the mirror smiled, a cruel, chilling smile. Emily was gone. Panic seized them.
Max and Chloe turned to run, desperate to escape the horrifying scene.
But the door slammed shut with a deafening bang.
They were trapped.
They spun back to the mirror.
Now Jake's reflection stood beside Emily's, a triumphant smirk on his face. Jake had vanished too, and their own reflections, trapped within the mirror's depths, watched them with knowing eyes. Max threw himself against the door, but it wouldn't budge. They were prisoners in the mirror's twisted game.
Chloe, tears streaming down her face, looked at the inscription on the wall.
"Beware the reflection," she whispered, her voice trembling. Suddenly, she understood. The reflections were the key.
"Max," she cried, her voice urgent, "we have to become our reflections."
Max, confused but desperate, followed Chloe's lead. They stood before the mirror, mimicking their reflections' every move, every breath.
Slowly, they felt a shift, a blurring of the lines between reality and reflection.
With a sudden rush, they were sucked into the mirror's cold, glassy surface. They tumbled through a dizzying vortex of images and sounds, the remnants of the mirror's dark history swirling around them. Then, just as abruptly, they were thrown back into the dusty room. The mirror stood before them, its surface now clear and reflecting nothing but the empty room. They were free.
But as they stumbled out of the house and into the storm, they cast one last glance back at the abandoned house.
For a fleeting second, they saw them. Emily, Jake, and 2 other figures standing at the attic window, their eyes gleaming with a sinister light.
Trapped forever, reflections in a haunted mirror.